Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Betsy and I love to create videos of faith and family to help you on your journey all the way home to heaven. Today I'm going to be talking about something very interesting. I don't know if people think about it, but I'm going to be talking about the new Tower of Babel and what does that actually mean. So stick around and I hope you watch all the way to the end because I wouldn't want you to miss a thing. And so here we go. Well, what even is the Tower of Babel? Well, I'm going to read it to you. It's found in Genesis chapter 11. And it is, now the whole world had one language and a common form of speech. That's verse 1. I'm going to jump to verse 3 because they were on the plains of Shinar when they decided this. And they said to one another, "Come and let us make bricks and bake them thoroughly." So they used brick instead of stone and tar instead of mortar. "Come," they said, "let us build for ourselves a city with a tower that reaches to the heavens, that we may make a name for ourselves and not be scattered over the face of all the earth." But then what happened? God saw what they were doing and why they were doing it, and he put an end to their tower by confusing the languages. Well, what does this have to do with today? And I am going to explain that, beginning with this. Back at that time, they all had one language, and that's how they were able to create this tower, this magnificent structure that they wanted to reach to the heavens. And it was actually, they said, a city with a tower. So it was an immense project they were undertaking, and all of them were involved in it, right? Because they had a common language and they all dwelt in the same place. Here's the thing. There's a verse in Proverbs 15:3 that says, "The eyes of the Lord are in every place, taking and watching both the good and the evil." And so God not only saw them, but God, being who God is and knowing the hearts of men, he knew what was in their hearts. They weren't building this for him. They were building it for themselves, to make of themselves a name. So basically it was idolatry, the idolizing of self. Let's look at the second thing. Do you look at that story, and does anything today seem similar to this? Because I feel like there is something very similar. Most people have heard now about the World Economic Forum, Davos, Switzerland, where they meet, that they have their agenda posted on the website. It's not, people used to think, oh, it's a conspiracy. It's not a conspiracy anymore, folks. It's the real deal. It's the real thing. This is what they're planning. Now, why does this remind me of the Tower of Babel? First of all, the people, even though they speak different languages, they actually have the ability to translate, have translators. It's very easy for them to understand what each other is speaking now. Not only that, they have another part that is very similar, and that is this. It is the same spirit that ignores God and elevates man to a position he was never intended for. In fact, you will hear a lot of different jargon that they have, but there's this one man who has said, "We don't need God. We are our gods. We can be like God. We are gods. We're the ones that have to fix the problems that we're elevating ourselves so that we can be the ones to be looked at and looked to solve all man's problems. They're making a name for themselves, and they're also putting themselves as gods and promoting themselves. It's that same spirit that was back in Genesis 11, right? That same spirit. The Bible says that we don't war against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers of evil in high places. Those same spirits that were alive in Genesis 11 still are alive today and promote the same thing. So here is why we have that same spirit rising up. Now here's something else. Have you noticed their jargon, the words that they use for their religion, basically? I'll say a few key ones. Planet sustainability. That's the problem they're going after, okay? My problem with that is that's not the problem of the world. The problem of the world is sin. Sin that leads to death. So their problem is planet sustainability, keeping Earth alive and functioning as long as we can. And from that comes all of these people who elevate themselves as God, think they don't need the true God, and they're going to sort out these problems by doing all sorts of things that people are finding out, making it so we can't eat beef, making it so that you're going to live in a city that you can get to everything within 15 minutes, the 15-minute cities, making it so that you can only buy, 2 pieces of clothing a year. I don't know, they have some of these very, very structured laws and regulations. Who needs God? We are our own gods. We can fix it. Now, here's something of interest, and that is that in man's choosing the problem, of course, with the help of the behind-the-scenes evil spirits, Satan and his minions, right? And what we've talked about, their big problem is planet sustainability. They can solve that if they want, but that's not going to solve the real problem. And what God says the real problem is for humanity and the creation, and that is sin and the effects of the curse that came upon all of creation and upon the earth and world because of men, Adam and Eve, choosing to rebel against God. And again, who is behind that? The serpent, Satan, the devious one. Did God really say? Oh yes. But now here's the thing. God has the remedy. And he even says that the remedy is free. Yeah. Okay? God's gift is free. He fixes the problem with his own gift of salvation through Jesus Christ. Right? Jesus didn't create the problem, but he was willing to suffer, die, and rise again and take away the curse. Now we still see the effects of the curse on humanity, on creation, because it's not going to be fixed until God says to Jesus, go get your bride, and until his second coming, where he establishes his kingdom. So here it is quickly, in a nutshell, as they say, all concise. The tower in the Old Testament in Genesis 12 was the Tower of Babel. They all spoke the same language, and they all wanted to create a city and make it rise up to the heavens and create a name for themselves. Today's tower is through World Economic Forum and everything that exists, and bringing all the world together in common. They can have the same language because they have translators, and solving the world's problem, which to them is planet sustainability. But one day, just like the Tower of Babel was taken down, when God looked down and saw what they were doing and said, I'm going to do something because this is not good. And that's when he confused the languages, and that's where the different languages and people groups came from. They grouped together and they went up, and now the people groups are joined together. And now they are coming to a common thing of fixing not only what they call their problem of planet sustainability, but elevating themselves up as gods, as the main problem solvers, and basically doing this to the true God and what he says. I find it very interesting, and I'm sure if you're watching this video, you do too. If there's anything you'd like to comment into the video about this, I would sure appreciate it. And if you like this video and you'd like to subscribe, please do. And also know that I have shorts on the weekend, so less than a minute long, one on Saturday morning, and then a verse in prayer on Sunday morning. So please join me each week for my videos on a topic that hopefully resonates with you. And until next time, bye and be blessed.